Dear students, today we are going to study the 14th chapter of 8th class called Resources. In this chapter, we learn what are resources, types of resources, classification of resources on the basis of origin, on the basis of development, on the basis of renewability, and on the basis of distribution. Finally, we study conservation of resources. First of all, let's learn what are resources. Resources refers to all the materials available in our environment which help us to satisfy our needs. Nature itself gives us certain useful things as gift. They are air, that means wind, soil, then wood, thereafter forest, finally water. These gifts make us more comfortable. Now let's study types of resources. Resources are generally classified into natural resources, human-made resources, and human resources. Now let's study what are natural resources. The gift of nature such as land, air, water, soil, fossil fuels, natural vegetation, minerals are known as natural resources. The utility of any natural resources is determined by the form in which it occurs, the place where it occurs, the efforts needed to process it, the cost of processing it. Natural resources can be further classified on the basis of their origin. There we can study 2 points. They are biotic resources and abiotic resources. Biotic resources include plants, animals, and microorganisms. Some examples of these resources are forest, agricultural crops, and wild and domestic animals. Now let's study the abiotic resources. Abiotic resources are obtained from physical or non-living environment. Land, water, air, minerals, and power resources are abiotic resources. Now let's learn classification of resources on the basis of development. There we study potential and actual resources. Potential resources, those resources whose total available quantity is not known at present are called potential resources. Best example is hydroelectricity. Then actual or developed resources. Those resources whose total quantity and quality are at present known are called actual or developed resources. Now let's study on the basis of renewability. Renewable resources, these resources which are not exhausted after use and can be used again and again are called renewable resources of energy. Now, non-renewable resources, those resources which are available in fixed quantities like minerals and fossil fuels are called non-renewable or exhaustible resources. Now let's study on the basis of distributions. Resources are not uniformly distributed over the earth. According to their distribution, resources can be ubiquitous or localized. Ubiquitous are found everywhere. Example, sunlight. Localized, we can see in a certain places. It's known as localized. Human-made resources. There are various natural resources which need modification for better use. Human beings are capable of changing such natural resources into useful product. They use their knowledge and skills to develop technology to convert the natural resources into useful products. Human beings use natural resources to develop buildings, roads, machineries, and vehicles. They are known as human made resources. Now let's study human resources. Human beings themselves are a very important resource. All the natural resources are of no use unless or until human beings utilize them for useful purposes with the help of their knowledge, skills, and technology. Now let's study conservation of resources. Using natural resources carefully without wasting them is called conservation of resources. When we use natural resources properly for today's need and also conserve them for the future generation, it is called sustainable development. Nowadays, people are being made aware of the situation which may arise as the result of large-scale destructions of natural resources. Each one of us has to make a sincere effort to save our natural resources for the future of our planet. Our future is actually dependent upon our ability to maintain and preserve the life support system which nature has provided. Thus, we must reduce the damage done to our natural environment.